Hello, collectors. I am so excited about this episode because this episode is all about how to collect one of the most iconic trading cards in the sports trading cards market, Topps Chrome Baseball. We're going to go through everything of what is Topps Chrome, how do you know what's valuable in the pack, how do you understand odds and read labels, where to find product. We're even going to do a live tutorial of opening a pack so you can understand in real time what cards to keep. Joining me today is an industry legend, Susan Lejurai, aka Sooz at Yanks Chick on Twitter. Sooz has worked at some of the industry greats, including Topps, Beckett, Golden, and is now leading marketing at CGC, one of the fastest grading trading card companies in the industry. So stay tuned. So excited to walk through this with you. I'm Danny Moss, and this is Built to Collect. What is Topps Chrome Baseball?
Yeah, so Topps today, like today being 2025, essentially puts out like 50 plus baseball products in a year. So it's incredibly hard to be like, what is what? But Topps Chrome is one of like the flagship products that they put out every year. Now, the flagship product, when we talk about flagship, are the base cards. They're made from paper. They're essentially just like glossy paper with like the photos. That's the stuff that you're gonna get in like Target, Walmart, every year when you like essentially like I want to buy a pack of Topps cards, that's the flagship product. Topps Chrome is, well, for lack of a better term, the Chrome version of those cards. So you have the base card, which is paper, and then you'll have the Chrome version, which essentially looks like metal in a way. Or like, if it's like on a chrome finish on a car that makes it like sparkly and shiny, that's essentially what the Chrome cards are. It's like a sparkly finish to the base cards, but they look like they're almost metal in a way.
So why do people collect? So let's talk about sort of mass production versus like exclusivity. Why do people collect Chrome versus something else?
Um, Chrome is collectible because, well, there are less of it, let's say, than top space, but there's still a lot of it. So I don't want to pretend like it's much more, it's more scarce. But when it comes to rookies, and that's always going to be like really the driving things of so many different sports cards products, it's the rookies that drive it. So when it comes to rookie cards, and now we're talking not just rookie cards, but the signed rookie cards, like the autographed rookie cards, Topps Chrome is essentially the product where you want to own the rookie autographed card because that tends to command the most money. You'll have a wide variety of rookie cards in those products, so not everybody is going to command a lot of money. But let's say you pulled Paul Skeens's, signed rookie card, which was in Topps Update last year. That's gonna command a lot of money on the secondary market. So when it comes to Topps Chrome, for a long time there was a saying for a long time. I haven't heard as much in recent years, but for a long time there was a saying, Chrome is king, because Topps Chrome was the chase for the rookie card autographs.
Amazing. And then to that point, right, not when you get a box or a pack of these cards, it's not there's effectively, right, like a listing of how many of each card exists in the world and what you can expect of potentially getting, which is called pulling, from a pack, right? Like you can go on tops and see this is what's been produced. And then do you get to see the probability, or is that sort of anyone's guess?
No, so they call them the odds when you're talking about the probability, like what are the odds that I'm going to pull a rare card? And it depends on the rarity, but they list them now on Topps.com. So if you go to Topps's website, there's a section, I want to say it's under Discover Topps, where it'll ha say odds, and then you click on that, and you can find any product under there that puts out. So they list the odds of you pulling a specific, like one specific card in one specific pack. So let's say it's a refractor, which we brought up before, which is a parallel of the chrome base cards. So you'll have the chrome base cards, looks like a metal finish. The base refractor has a rainbow finish to it. And they'll have the odds there that say like 1 in 4. So that means on average, now keep that in mind, it's on average because you could open 100 packs and maybe not get that. But on average, through the entire run of the product, for every 4 packs you open, you should get one refractor card. And now the odds are different for every card essentially that's in the set. It'll list the different odds for everything. So there could be up to like 100 different listings on the odds.
And just to be clear, the refractor is effectively, right, the finish. And then the parallel means there's a base card. So the ones that were sort of mass produced on paper, that image now has been paralleled into something glossy, potentially like different colors. And that's what the parallel is. Like that base card exists. It's just not as, it's not as rare and cool looking with as many finishes.
Yeah, so let's say there's a million base cards because there probably is, if not more. On Chrome, you might have 100,000 of the Chrome, and of the refractors, you might have 10,000 of the refractors. So depending on the rarity, like it goes down in volume. It's like how many of that individual card exists.
Okay, so I walk into let's say I walk into a hobby shop and we'll get into hobby versus retail, but I walk into a hobby shop and I want to bring cards to a friend. And I look at the wall and I see tops, but I see chrome, I see prism, I see all these options. What am I looking at?
Yeah, I mean, for Topps Chrome, it's right now it's only in baseball, but we'll be coming to football and basketball potentially in the near future. So Topps Chrome is, I mean, to be fair, they were the beginning, right? Topps Chrome started in 1996. So when it came to like this sort of technology, and that's the best way to think about it too. It's like a different technology because, back in the 90s you had Doofix, and I know these are crazy words, but like you had like Doofix and all this other types of technology that, companies were using to make a paper card stand out a little more than like their counterparts. So in Topps' case, they created this technology with what they call Chrome. And, other, I feel like I might be forgetting. Somebody might have done it before them, to be quite honest, but I might be forgetting. But they've essentially perfected it. And then in time, Panini came around. Panini can't make Chrome because Chrome is a trademark for Topps. So they created a similar product on chromium stock, as I think is how people word it to get around sort of like trademarking issues, called Prism with a Z, Prizm. And Prism is Panini's answer to Chrome. And Panini will have it on their line of IPs that they own, that they have like the rights to make cards to. So, it was basketball and football, and they've used it for other things like Rolling Stones recently. They put out a Prism set. So, Prism and Chrome are the same, essentially the same technology, just made by different companies.
Interesting. And then in terms of like the license for baseball players, um, it's not just tops, like there's Bowman's in there too with baseball. What's the difference for you as you think of it's if you're starting out that you think about buying Bowman cards versus Topps cards?
Sure. So Bowman is owned by Topps. So it's the same company. They just have different names. But Bowman is the home to prospects, meaning guys in the minor leagues, guys who are just getting their start. So the first place you're ever going to find most players, like 99% of players, will be in Bowman products. So like Bowman Draft is usually that product where they come out. And draft meaning like this product came out right after the MLB draft. So Bowman is the home to the prospects. And
Okay.
Topps is the home to like the Major League Baseball players. You'll find, and I know it's confusing because you can find Major League Baseball player cards in Topps, I mean in Bowman, and there's also rookie cards in Bowman. However, historically, based on like secondary market and like essentially consumers have decided Bowman is the home to the prospects, and that's the only place you're going to find prospects. You're not going to find the prospects in Topps cards. They're only going to be in Bowman products. And then rookie cards are for Topps, and those are the rookie cards that are more desirable, the ones coming out of Topps.
Got it. And then let's go into before I be like hopefully we're not confusing everybody, but let's go into
It's a little confusing and it takes a while to like get
this
used to it.
episode. Yes. Let's go into I want to buy again, I want to buy. There is a is there a difference between, or can there be a difference between buying at a inventory from a hobby shop versus buying inventory from, let's say, like a Walmart or a Target?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna say different SKUs, and by different SKUs, it's like, it's like the UPC symbol essentially, but like the different SKUs are just like the different types of boxes you could find. With Topps Chrome, I'm gonna probably get it wrong, but there's like five different types of boxes that are in existence right now. One, see, I'm saying because as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, I think there might be more. So, but one is a blaster box, which is usually if as long as there's not hanger boxes, which is like a much smaller, thinner box, or rack packs, which is a plastic pack that's like long like this. That's what I call them, rack packs. I'll start with the blaster. The blaster boxes are usually the most inexpensive of the group. So I'll start from lowest to highest when it comes to like the cost of them. And inside you usually get this year, let's call it 28 cards per box. And each pack of Topps Chrome, regardless, not regardless, and most of the SKUs has 4 cards per pack. So when you divide 4 into 28. What is it? 6. Hopefully my math is correct here. 7. You'll get those many packs per box. It's like 7 packs per blaster box, 28 cards. Then next up in the line are mega boxes. And mega, it's actually I have one here. So this is a mega box size. So the blasters are actually a little bit taller, but they're thinner. This is a mega box size. So in here it says you get 7. This also has 7 cards. 7 packs. Oh, 6 cards per pack in here. So that's why it has changed over the years. It used to be just 4. And this comes with 42 total cards, and it does go up and more in cost. Then you have a hobby box. So this mega box and the blasters usually are what you find in Walmart and Target and what are like the big box stores. You will not find hobby boxes in those stores, in Targets and Walmarts. Hobby boxes and they call like jumbo boxes, those are reserved for card shops and essentially like people who do breaking online. But those are reserved for card shops only. And historically, the reasoning was, you know, almost like Target and Walmart versus hobby stores. Thompson had a responsibility along with the other card manufacturers to drive traffic to these hobby stores because that was the only way essentially before like current times, people can get cards. It's like Topps was not a direct to consumer distributor. They've done that a lot more in recent years. But the only central places you could go were either Target or Walmart or hobby stores. So they had different offerings in both. The retail would get blasters and later in time megas, where the hobby stores would get these hobby boxes and now jumbo boxes, which has, by the name as it sounds, more cards per pack. They do get more expensive. Hobby boxes have guaranteed autographs or guaranteed what we call hits. Hits are like autographs, game used cards with game used pieces inside, or they're like really special cards. Blasters at like the retail boxes, blasters and megas don't guarantee those hits. So you can get an autograph. You could find what the odds of getting an autograph are on that. We spoke about it before. But they're not guaranteed in those 2 types of boxes. But in the hobby box, you're at right now, because it changes all the time, you're guaranteed at least, I want to say, at least 1 autograph. And then in the jumbo boxes, I want to say it's 3, but I'd have to double check that. But they do get more expensive. Hobby boxes, you're looking at like a several $100s. Like this year's release, I want to say is plus $300. Whereas like the jumbo boxes, you're looking maybe around $500 for a box, which has more autographs, more chance to pull those like different color parallels. So cheaper, more attainable, but not guaranteed hits. More expensive, guaranteed hits, but it's also way more expensive.
And then if I'm sort of starting out and I'm excited and pumped to go buy this and do it, how do you advise or as you're pulling, if I'm not a savant and I'm now opening these packs and I'm sitting there and I have, I'm ready to go on sort of what we would refer to as sleeving, which is just putting a plastic coating and protecting the cards with good value. I'm ready to go. How do I know what I'm looking at? Or like what do you advise people to do if they don't know what they're handling?
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, for me, I would say the first thing, and this is even before you go buy anything, watch YouTube breaks of these products because so
Great.
many people are opening them online, and as they're going through, you have people in the chats talking about it. They're like, "Oh, we hit this." And you kind of get a feel for like, "Oh, these are the types of cards I should be looking for." Because that's how I get my education with a lot of products. I just watch people who open them on YouTube. So I think that's actually a great place to start first is watch these breaks on YouTube before you go open the product. Then you get what you want, whatever SKU, whatever box version you want. You get what you want. Have your penny sleeves, have your top loaders. Those are the things, like you said, for protection. And then, like, if you pull anything of color, and you'll know because, like, as you're opening a box, like everything is silver because it has this like chrome finish. If you pull anything of color, sleeve it up. You pull any inserts, they may not be worth anything just yet, but sleeve them up because like you don't know that at this very moment in time. Sleeve them up. And then like obviously any hits, 100% sleeve them up. And then notable rookie card names. If there are rookies that you're like, "Oh, that's, I'm trying to think who's like this year, like Ben Rice,
Yeah.
not a huge rookie, but like you look at some, but like he's still a Yankees rookie, which always commands secondary market value when it comes to rookie cards. Ben Rice, sleeve him up. Trying to think of just like who are some of the rookies this year. Brent Rooker, I think, is a rookie in this year's product, or not Brent, yeah, maybe. But anyway, sleeve them up. But so like names that you know that are rookie cards, sleeve them up. And then you can take those cards, go to eBay, check like sold listings, and see how much those cards are currently selling for. And then some are going to be like, "Oh, this is a great card. I want to keep it. I want to sell it." You figure it out. And then there's some cards that like aren't worth anything. But you know what? For me, I would say put those aside in like a different box, a separate box from sort of like your bulk, and hold on to them. And then in 3 months, check them again. And then in 6 months, maybe check them again because the value changes over time, especially if like players will have breakout seasons. Um, I go back to actually like for this is a good example, like Aaron Judge. He was not a highly sought after prospect in 2016 when he made his debut. And his autograph cards were found so cheaply at the time. I mean, I was buying, and I'm a Yankees fan, so hence why like I this sticks out to me, but like I was buying cards of his for like 20 $25 at the time. And then suddenly his rookie season comes in 2017 and he cannot stop hitting home runs and his values of cards shot through the roof. So, great news. Now you have those cards. This could happen to other players. I'm not saying that there's the next Aaron Judge in this box of cards, but you never know when a player is going to have like a breakout season and then becomes collectible. I mean, Cal Raleigh's a really great example of that for this year too.
Is there any value with for Topps Chrome sort of collecting the whole set or getting like all the colors of the rainbow and then listing it as a grouping? Like, is there any value in that, or is it all really about like individual card performance?
You know, historically, selling in lots will net you the least amount of money. So if
Yeah.
like you ever wanted to make the most amount of money, it's best to break them up. So it's not going to get you the most value. And I think because of just how many you mentioned like the rainbow. So a rainbow is like if in Topps Chrome there is the base, there's the refractor, but then there's the blue version, the red version, the green version, the gold version. At this point, there's like 20 something different versions, if not more of that, of the base card. So one, like chasing that is difficult, but for collectors, it's a lot of fun. It's part of like the chase. So it's a lot, it's a good chase to have. But selling them as a lot will probably not net you as much as it did if you ended up selling them separately. So
And
set,
then
sorry, I was gonna say, so set collecting in Topps Chrome is not really something people do as much anymore, maybe because the way product is created because of all the different parallels and refractors, it just becomes really difficult to do.
are we opening this box right now a little bit, or no? You holding on to this one?
Yeah, we can open this for sure.
Can we do a visual for those who are watching on YouTube? Let's walk through how do I know what of all of these myriad of information that we just threw on to everybody, how do I know what I'm buying? What are you reading when you look at this box?
So top Chrome, this is the mega box. So right, here's the year. So you want to get the year. So it's 2025 Topps Chrome. And then you can see like even down here it says like so they do give a little something, even though I talked about hits being exclusives like hobby and jumbos, like guaranteed. In this, you'll see it's like, oh, find 10 exclusive X fractors. That's a type of parallel. And you'll see that when we pull it, it just has a different types of design on it. So you'll see that it has it on there. And then they try to give you like a different things. Like here it says like green parallels. Green refractors, those are usually just reserved for retail products like the blasters and the megas. So you wouldn't find a green in any of the hobby or jumbo. So every once and again, they'll give you a little like exclusives. And then it tells you, see, um, collect the entire 300 card base set. The base set meaning cards number 1 to 300. So that includes 300 of the players from series 1 and 2, which has 700 cards. So they actually had to whittle it down to like the best 300 cards that are gonna get the Chrome version of their cards to it. And then generally you can just tell by the shape of the box. Like this is a mega box. And like I said, the blasters are like they look like a milk carton in a way. The blasters. Like they're kind of I don't know if anybody even knows what milk cartons are anymore, but they look like more of a milk carton than and then the hobby boxes, they usually lie flat like this and they're longer because they have more packs inside.
Okay. And then I'm only gonna ask you to open one pack and walk us through what you look at because
Okay.
you should enjoy this with your family and you have fun with it.
All right, so the best thing to do is have a letter opener or uh, a razor blade, like, a box opener, because otherwise you'll sit there forever. So then this is how it comes in. They try, they want to protect the cards on the inside. So I'm just gonna pull one from the middle. So they used to have, and if you ever open pack day one, they used to actually have the odds where we talked about like the rare, like how to pull it on the backs of the cards. But now it tells you for approximate odds per pack, please visit topps.com. So they do still give it to you, they're just not on packs anymore. So now we know there's 6 cards per pack. So you pull it out, and there is an X Fractor in here, so we'll get to see the X Fractor. So this is what a base card looks like. And as you can see, like it's reflective, So you see the
Yeah.
light shining off of it, and this is what a base chrome card looks like. It has that reflective finish, where on a paper card, it's just paper. Like it'll reflect because it's glossy, but it's just glossy paper. So this is another base, and they could come in other like either horizontal or vertical. They're just using the image from the flagship product. Tariq Skubal. So speaking of like in years past, like you would put his rookie cards in a box and you want to hang on to them. Here we have this is called an insert. So this is a Fortune 15 insert, and you can see it's different from the base. This is not just like sort of pickup of the past image that they use in series 1. This is an insert. It's a little bit different. The checklist is different, where on the back of this, it says 258. That's Streak Scubal's card number, like on the 1 to 300 checklist. It's numbered differently on the backs of the inserts. And you can see up here it says roughly F15-9. So F15 standing for Fortune 15, and then this being the 9th card in the checklist. And those are less frequent than the base card. So I did pull one per pack, but they're not guaranteed one per pack. This is an X Fractor. So now you see it has that chrome finish, but just comes with this sort of checkerboard design on it. And then this is an X Fractor. Not as plentiful as the base cards, not numbered, however. If it was numbered, I think they put the numbering on the front these days. It would be like somewhere up here or in the corner, where if let's say there's only 99 copies of one card made, it would say like 1/99, meaning that was actually the first card of the 99 that got stamped of that 99 run. But otherwise, but it would have numbering if it was a numbered refractor. And then we did get another X Fractor, this one of Cade Povich, rookie card. So for me, like I'd probably sleeve this one up, just hang on to it, because who knows what could happen in like 4 or 5 years from now.
That was that was super helpful. In terms of the like, I'm gonna ask you just a few more questions,
Yeah,
and
no
this was
problem.
I feel like I learned a lot actually. In terms of sort of how you've seen like Topps Chrome evolving over time, it's changed ownership. What are you excited about? What would you love to see? What would you sort of be excited to see in the market? Just like as a collector, what have you noticed?
For me, I think what's exciting is Topps Chrome and other sports. It's been a long time since we've had Topps Chrome basketball and Topps Chrome football. So I think having those, you're going to see a lot of excitement around those cards when they eventually, and I say potentially because there is a lawsuit. There's a suit hanging out there. But if those cards get made, I think you're going to see a lot of excitement back from collectors for those cards.
Nice. And if you were starting out, what would you sort of recommend to people as their first when I started, I would go to hobby shops and buy it, and then and it actually did exactly what you sort of recommended, where I'd watch YouTube. Um, Mainly, I think partly so I could look cool in front of my nephews, as well as to learn, and then would use sort of like eBay and take photos after and sort of see what I pulled. But what's your sort of final advice for new people?
It's a great question. I actually was in the shop this weekend and a parent was asking me this question for their kid. So it does depend, and I say it depends on your budget. Now, if you have a budget where you're like, I could spend $300 on a box of cards, I'd probably buy a hobby box because there is that guaranteed auto. And to be fair, it's exciting to pull an autograph. Now, I will say, like, the checklist for Chrome, and that's the checklist is every card is listed on the checklist, so everything that's going to be in the product is on that checklist. The autograph checklist for the cards is not that strong this year, and I think that's something that's really important to also consider when buying a box of cards, because there's some years where the rookie card checklist is like amazing, and you're gonna get, and you know that like there's a chance that you're gonna pull one of these like really top rookies. And there's some years where the checklist is not as strong. This happens to be one of those years. Now, you could pull a James Wood autograph card, which would be amazing. But like right now, Topps Chrome is filled with a lot of sort of like rookie relievers from last year who did not come back to their major league team this year. So that's frustrating if you would pull something like that. But having said that, I would probably buy a hobby box because you get the one autograph at least, but then there's also the inserts. There's a lot of inserts you're gonna pull. You're gonna pull refractors. You're gonna pull colored refractors. So I think there's still a lot of fun to be had, even if you're not gonna pull a James Wood autograph.
This was so great. Thank you so much. I think for everyone watching or listening, again, at Yanks Chick is where you can find Sooz. Follow her on Twitter. It's super informative. Thank you. Thanks, Sooz. This was so helpful.
No, no problem. I appreciate it. I can talk about baseball cards all day long, so I don't mind. I don't mind.
Thank you, and thank you to everyone for listening. Thank you again to Sooz for a fantastic episode. As a reminder, you can find her at Yags Chick on Twitter. And thank you for watching Built to Collect. We're going to have more episodes like this of how-tos across other categories like watches and more. So subscribe, share with your friends, and please drop in the comments what you'd like to see next. I'm Danny Moss, and thank you for watching Built to Collect.